We should have signed him every January for the last 14 years.
If you say Danny Welbeck...
It is Danny Welbeck.
High five.
Why not? Why are we not getting Danny Welbeck?
Danny Welbeck's on my list.
Why not? I don't understand it. It's the most no-brainer of all no-brainers. And he's better than anything we've got.
Hello and welcome to Off the Bar, brought to you by Green King Sport. Today, we've got lots to talk about. I'm joined by Jay and Adam. We're going to be talking transfers. 3 transfers that can turn Manchester United around. We're also going to be going through United's new structure post-Ashworth. How has it been put back together? Who's doing what? We'll go through all of that as well. And we'll just be having a general chat about Arsenal at the weekend. Make or break game for the season, potentially. Maybe even for Arteta's tenure at Arsenal. Jay, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm looking. Do you know what? It sounds weird, but I'm looking forward to the Arsenal game, mate.
Yeah.
I think we'll do him.
I know we're going to get into that one draw against Liverpool.
It was a point at Anfield. And I'm like...
Well, we've been good in the big games, haven't we?
Yeah, and I think Arsenal aren't even all that.
No. Adam,
they're nothing without Saka.
That's true. How are you feeling? Adam?
Nothing with him as well.
Yeah, exactly. Well said.
What?
Are you doing well?
I'm all right, yeah, I'm all right. Bit on the tired side, but we're good.
Soldier.
Yeah.
To be fair, it is 5-2.
It's not based on today and like what time it is now.
Right, what's it based
Just
on?
a generally tiring week, all right.
What have you been up to?
It's Thursday.
Yeah.
He's got kids and that. He's busy, man, isn't he? You don't know about that.
Plural.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's graft.
Yeah.
It's non-stop.
To be fair.
School runs.
Jay's talking about himself there. Vicariously through me.
Yeah. You know, it's like having 2 daughters and a
kids,
son.
school runs.
Hey, a teenager. Honestly.
It's hell.
It's all happening.
Let's get into these transfers then. Obviously, the window's open. It does seem as though, whether it happens or not, United are interested in doing a bit of business this window. Whereas last January, it was sort of like top to bottom, nothing's happening. I think Man United are trying to get some deals done. So we should come up with some people who we want to sign. I think that's fair enough.
Yeah, I think that. We're in danger of doing some serious business soon, aren't we?
Yes.
Because Andreas Pereira could be going to Palmeiras and we could get 3.6 million out of that little deal.
I'm saying.
Cash.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
Really? Sell-on clause.
There you go.
Yeah?
Making
it's
money.
not Santa Claus, it's sell-on clause that we like round here.
Fulham's loss is our gain.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
But before we get into who we should bring in, let's look at how we're going to make some money to buy players. We spoke to Kieran Maguire before. I think that video's up on the channel now if you want to go and check that out. He basically said, as everyone has said, we probably need to sell some people before we can buy. And you don't actually have to sell as many as you think, because anyone we sell, you can declare that money up front, and anyone you buy, you can spread it over the length of the contract. So we could sell someone for 30 million quid and get a player in for more than that, essentially. So it's not quite as tight as it looks, because sales count for now and purchases count for the next 5 years.
It's not difficult though for us, isn't it?
It is difficult, and that's why the whole academy player becomes such an exciting thing to sell, because it's all profit.
If they try and sell Kobe Mainoo, I'll be outside their house.
I'll be joining you.
I promise.
Yeah,
I'll be outside.
I'll be done.
They being
up, whoever the fuck they are.
Ineos, the Ineos house.
Who do they think they are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey. We'll make what happened to Ed Woodward's house look like a picnic.
What
he had fireworks and all that, didn't he?
Yeah.
Hey, we'll be more worse than that, mate.
Yeah.
Will they?
There'll be sparklers.
Shit. Yeah, right in.
Glazers out.
Don't sell Mainoo in the dark. But talk to me about Mainoo first of all. Obviously,
I think it's bollocks anyway.
I
agree. I think it's bollocks, and I think it's just kind of like a thing where probably he's got contract negotiations going on, and they're saying, well, we'll sell anyone. It's kind of like one of them things where you get players to actually want to be there, take contracts that maybe they wouldn't take if you're putting the ball in their court and being like, well, do you want to be here or not? But if they tried to sell him, there would be riots.
Yeah, I do think he's, of all the players at United, he's the one that almost no one would accept for selling.
Let's say this was true and you really sold him.
Yeah.
Go and get a player that good on the market at that age. Costs more than it would than the money you're bringing in.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more. We spoke about this, didn't we, yesterday? And I think even if you got let's just say 120 million quid for him, and you spent that on 40 million on one player and 80 million on another, you're not going to replace him. It's not going to be worth it, because especially when you look at United over the past decade, the amount of money we've wasted. There's no reason to believe everything's going to be great now. Ineos are
going nowhere.
No.
I don't see it happening. And like Mark says, fans would just be raging. It send out the wrong message to everyone, including the rest of the academy or whatever. I can't see it happening.
Yeah, same. Marcus Rashford, on the other hand, does look very likely to leave it in January. Last time we spoke about this, Adam, you were going through the 7 stages of grief. I think at that point you had a combination of denial, anger, and
acceptance, bargaining.
Yeah, there was
bargaining.
no acceptance. There was bargaining. It was denial, anger, and bargaining last time you came on. It feels almost certain.
We're sending him out on loan. We may as well keep him.
Why?
It's fucking stupid, that.
Go on then. How
But
come?
we still pay, 150 grand a week?
Something like that.
And someone else benefits from him playing for them. What's the point?
Well, I guess Ruben Amorim would say he is a net negative to the squad and the team, and he doesn't want him around.
If Ruben Amorim said that or thinks that, then he can do whatever he wants. But I feel like this is being pushed by little rat boy and that.
Who's that? Sorry?
Ratcliffe.
Oh, Ratcliffe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Little rat boy and that. That's his nickname. Not Sir Jim.
That's his Snapchat
Little
name.
rat boy and
Little
that.
rat boy wants to say.
Well, we don't acknowledge
Yeah.
MBEs and shit.
Yeah,
so
well said.
I don't call anyone.
Yeah, that's Sir Little Rat Boy to you.
Little rat, Sir Little Rat Boy.
Since I was in school.
But on Rashford, where are you up to with it now? Just generally the idea of him being out of the squad, probably leaving Man United.
I still want to jump off the roof.
Have you got to acceptance yet? Have you sort of come to the understanding?
I don't think I'll ever accept it.
Fair enough.
What is it that bothers you about it so much?
It's not supposed to be this way.
You're right.
It's so shit.
He was meant to do
It's ended up like this.
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone
It's supposed
thinks
to be
about
a one club man.
where he's at in terms of his performance, whatever. It's sad that it's come to this because you go back when he burst onto the scene, the winner at the Etihad, the goals he was scoring. I thought, this is it. We've got a player here who we're going to have for life. And at the age of 27, where he should be in his peak, we can't give him away. Apparently,
Someone commented the other day. Ahmad Diallo scoring goals against all the big teams and playing with a smile on his face, and I was like, we used to say this about Marcus.
we did. People forget that.
It's a fucking joke.
Yeah.
That's what I did say as well. Cobby will be next and Ahmad will be next. People just try to turn on everyone.
Well, people after the was it the Bournemouth game when it was Cobby Mainoo was getting a load of grief. I got home online. I thought I'd been watching a different game. It was like Cobby Mainoo was trending because it was all his fault.
It was great against Liverpool as well.
The mad thing is
what?
though, if Cobby, let's say Cobby's agent gets him a big contract, or Ahmad's agent, and we don't know what this new deal is. Let's say it's a big contract. As soon as that data is leaked, or even if it's just rumours that are false about what someone's on, then you're just held to a completely different standard. Like Cobby Mainoo, if he is an academy player who we all love, that's great. If he's a 200 grand a week player, all of a sudden the narrative around him becomes completely different. When Rashford signed that 300 or whatever it is grand a week deal, the narrative became completely different. It went from being he has his ups and downs to if you don't get back to that level, he's got to go. And like you almost tie yourself to a reputation, and you have to live up to that reputation.
Where do you draw a line, no joke? Like, because if you're Cobby Mainoo, you're playing every week. Yeah. You're a first team player for Manchester United. You've cost the club nothing. And you go into training and you see Mason Mount's on 250k a week, Anthony's on 200k a week. You've got these players who aren't playing for the Casemiro. I know these players have all achieved more in their careers, whatever. But in terms of what's happening right now at Manchester United,
you did just mention Anthony.
Sorry, forgive me. But you're going in like you're seeing these players who don't play for Manchester United. They're either injured or they're on the bench or they're just dropped. They're not even barely getting the squad. Would you not think, well, I'm worth at least 200k then? If my teammates...
Of course I would. Of course I would think that.
Because I've seen people pushing back going, he's 19, he shouldn't be getting this. And I think, well, hang on a minute. I understand he shouldn't be the top earner at the club or whatever. I don't think he should be on, like, you should be going, well, Cobby Mainoo's our highest earner, then it's, whoever. But I do think he should be closer to what some of the highest earners are. Because he's a player for Manchester United who plays every week.
If he's currently on 60 bags a week, let's say.
Yeah, I think it's less than that,
Or whatever, 50 or whatever. Yeah. And like... you've got players like you just said that are on quite a lot of money. If his agents start at 200k a week, eventually they'll get to what they want. Yeah. Because it's going to be brought down anyway. So what they want might be 120 grand a week, which is totally reasonable for someone who's kind of crazy talking about that kind of money. But like, it's reasonable for a player like Cobby Mainoo.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Like he's worth 200 grand a week, but you don't want to give someone that at that age when they haven't really achieved anything. They've been there for one season. They've only won one trophy. If you're changing the culture of the club, you don't want to give that contract to him, even though he's probably worth that. Yeah. But also, his agents have to do the best for him and have to go high to eventually meet somewhere in the middle.
And also, if I'm his agent, I'm going, just so you know, guys, Cobby Mainoo, who plays for Man United most games, I'm asking for less than you are paying for Marcus Rashford to play for AC Milan right now. Yeah. Like, how can you even argue with that?
But I goes to AC Milan.
I do agree with you, though, like... it has to be somewhere in the middle.
No, I get that.
It's only been
what sort of threw me a little bit was the amount of people who just sort of seemed to be criticising him for even suggesting that figure. And I think, well, like you must look around the dressing room, whatever, and go, look, okay, I don't expect to be paid the same as these, but I expect to be paid closer to what they're getting.
Yeah.
If I'm playing every week for Manchester United, especially if other clubs are looking at him, and I'm not saying he's going to go, but if Kobbie Mainoo did leave United, there'd be a whole host of top-level clubs that would want him. So I get it. It's just the nature of the beast, isn't it?
Yeah. Let's have a look at some people we can bring in then. 3 each.
We ain't signing no one. Let's just get that out of the way.
Okay.
Well, that's I actually.
And also,
I
I've seen the
genuinely
state of this list.
Well, yeah. Do you know why
put
that?
this together? Ed Woodward.
Do you know why that list exists? And I'll tell you why that list exists. And I'm going to read the messages out. Because
list.
when you were asked for your three, your own list, you had the opportunity to provide your own list.
Your list. Go on.
So
give us McKola's list.
I'll read what Ethan said.
Read both of the messages out.
So Ethan said, hello, so for off the bar, we're thinking personal realistic transfer targets, 3 players each to consider in January, maybe the summer, maybe explore a possible loan or bargain for January for some couple signings, different positions that you think
I like
would
that.
give the most
That's the first
identity.
problem. I'll never take
I like
guidance
this.
from him.
Right, okay, well, that's a fair comment. Go on.
Can't tell me what to do.
So Adam McKola replied to Ethan's message saying, we're not signing anyone, so there's my 3. And then he said, and if we let Rashford go. And then he said, that's my contribution to the show, thanks.
So now you've read it out. I can leave.
We're pleased that once again, Off the Bar is brought to you by Green King Sport, where football is more than a game.
And on Sunday, Manchester United take on Arsenal in the FA Cup. So if you can't go to the game, do the next best thing. Get your mates and go down to your local Green King Sport pub.
And if you use the Green King Sport app, then you'll get 10% off all your drinks for the duration of the game. And if you've not downloaded the app yet, you'll get a free pint.
We've linked the app in the description, so go and check it out. And a big thank you to Green King Sport.
Your response wasn't necessarily the most productive. So a list was made for
so
you.
now a list has been made. It's got Rabiot and Amrabat on
Well,
it.
Rabiot is a player we're always linked with.
Fucking hell.
And Amrabat we've had. Looking at some of the other names, there's one
Can't
player.
spell Osimhen, by the way.
Well, there's one of them players that I think.
And if we ever sign a player called Randall, I'm fuming.
What, because of your dedication to recess?
Yeah, he's a grass.
Yeah, he is a grass, to be fair. He is.
Randall's a definite.
You're laughing, but
is it?
Yeah,
as the Manx would say, he's a bad grass.
I was thinking, what's that Kevin Smith film? Is it Clerks?
Clerks.
That's what I always reminds me of Randall.
I've not seen it.
Yeah.
You can't sign players called Randall.
Why?
No, you can't.
No, you're right. Actually, you're right. No, you can't. I agree.
Or after the Man City chant, Cola was a push. The amount of times we had to come on,
Yeah, dance and everything, don't you?
Yeah.
What's
and
all
they
that
used to do it in
about?
like Fifth Avenue when I was on a night out at uni. Like, shut up. I'd struggle with that.
Days, yeah.
Let alone Randall.
Randall's heroic.
Although Randall Kolo Muani,
Atrocious.
I won't mind him actually.
There's one player who's not on that list who should be on it.
Go on.
And it's this player I think.
Stretford.
No, well, you can argue that. It's never going to end this, is it?
For a second, I thought you had a Royal Mail t-shirt on them, by the way.
Wow.
It's got Royal Mail
By the way,
vibes.
that's...
Right, Jay,
Go on.
hit me with some names. Your 3. Who do you like?
Well, the first one.
I used to love Royal Mail money, actually.
What for?
So once what happened was...
Unpaid wages.
what happened... I also need some help.
Nicking Christmas cards and that.
Nah, what happened was I worked for them once for an
Nicking
agency.
gyros, we've all done
I
them.
also need some help, he just said.
I worked for Royal Mail once for an agency. Around Christmas time.
So you saw the
So
cards.
it's like 2 months of work.
Yeah.
But then what happened was they were supposed to pay us on a day and they never paid us.
Right.
So all the agency had to go to some office and pick up cash in hand, right?
Yeah.
But then a week later they paid me anyway.
Right.
So we got double pay, yeah. And then they sent a letter saying you owe us some money, and I was like, well, I've left now, so if I just ignore these letters,
Yeah.
I'm
you can,
quitting.
yeah.
Doesn't
When you went to get the cash in hand, what sort of system was it?
it was like, oh yeah, just write your name here and then...
You can always blag it and say, I never got my cash in hand.
But I mean, just...
What are they going to do? How many years ago was it?
Is this Christmas?
This Christmas.
You got there's a court summons in the post now.
Last Christmas.
Yeah.
No, it was probably good 15 years ago. It was when I was a student.
I think you've got away with that.
Yeah, they're not going to check, like, if you say, no, I didn't get my wages, cash in hand,
Although,
they're not going to check
is-
the footage from 15 years ago to see if it's you on camera or whatever.
Technically, the Royal Mail is owned by the state, which
Right.
means you
Is
can be
it?
tried.
They haven't sold it off.
You can be tried
Not
for
yet.
treason.
Fuck
So you could be hung, drawn, and quartered for that. It's one of the few crimes.
Really?
Yeah. It's one
Then
of the few
also I
crimes
got
where you
another
still
one.
Can.
I
That
got
and
a little worry.
oh no,
Well, I'm not worried. You know, people like me don't get worried.
you seem worried.
I got a delivery the other day from America, as you do.
Yeah.
Little clothes delivery and that.
Go on.
But the delivery got done, so I've got the stuff.
Yeah.
But then I received an email saying you got to pay the tax on that.
Yeah.
And normally that comes before. Normally it says we'll release your parcel once you've paid the tax, right?
Yeah.
But I've already received the parcel, so do I just ignore them emails?
Is it emails? Yeah, mate. Just
Yeah. If any time I get an email saying I owe someone money, I don't answer that
Nah,
email
that doesn't even count.
because it's probably a scam.
Yeah, that's it.
Just so you thought it was a scam.
that's
a
it.
good point,
I
yeah.
thought they were like knocking on your
Although
door.
is that
FedEx, Royal Mail, fuck yourself.
Or is that Her Majesty's ports an income,
Well, Her Majesty
an intake?
is not Majesty to me.
Well, she's dead.
And secondly, she's dead.
yeah.
All right, then His Majesty. Again, this might be double treason. This might be one of the first.
Old sausage
known cases
fingers
of-
can't do shit to me.
Yeah.
I'm
Old
just saying.
sausage fingers can't do shit.
It's like one of them things. It only counts if you believe in it.
Yeah, that's it. Argue
Like
that.
Elf on the
Argue that.
Shelf.
when
You
you
know
take
the
it
guys
to
that
court.
say, "What is it? I got freedom of what is
Yeah.
it?"
Oh, common law. I don't
I don't
abide by that.
recognise the authority of this court.
Yeah. I recognise common law.
Yeah, tell that story in your cell,
Yeah.
mate.
No land
you're
can
still
be
going
owned by
down.
a single man.
Yeah.
All right, well, you get off my fucking toilet.
Right.
I'm still going to beat you up. Right, let's go back to some transfers. I'm going to
So just
start.
let me know how to deal with that in the comments below. Thanks.
I've had a couple of them in the past. If they release this shit, you're just going to
Yeah, you're laughing, man. You're getting away with both of them.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. Fuck that
Pass that on
shit.
to Adam. Love
There
it.
you go.
Right, I'm going to start.
I've got one.
All right, you start.
I don't know what he's huffing and puffing at. It's the obvious one that we should be signing this January. We should have signed him every January for the last
Don't
14 years.
If you say Danny Welbeck,
It is Danny Welbeck.
High five.
Why not?
That's
Why
on my
are we
list
not
as well.
getting Danny Welbeck?
Danny
on
Welbeck's
loan
on
to
my
the end of the
list.
season.
Why not? I don't understand it. It's the most no-brainer of all no-brainers, and he's better than anything we've got.
Also, if you re-sign an academy player, it doesn't count towards
PSR.
FFP.
Counts as profit.
Yeah, you give them money, and you get the money.
Hang on a sec. He's our academy player.
Like,
Is
you
he-
double the money.
If we buy him for 100 million, do we get that? Because he's our pure profit academy.
That's what I mean. It's a win-win, and he scores you loads
You know
of goals.
what? He's actually entered the point where, yeah, sure. He's actually entered the stage where
He's in the form of his life.
kind of does make sense as a short-term loan option.
Thank you.
But he's not really good enough long-term. But
It is the only
there
thing
is
that
no
would
long-term.
make up for letting Rashford go.
Yeah. Look at Johnny Evans. Johnny Evans is playing the football of his career back at United now.
Now,
Yeah.
he hasn't played in 6 weeks.
Well, when he does play, Danny Welbeck will do the same.
Wow.
Trust me.
Scored the other day, Johnny Evans.
Thank you.
How do you love Welbeck more than Rashford?
Oh, that's a bit like saying, do you love, which kids you like the most?
But you always talk about having a favourite.
Yeah, all right, I have, but that's not the point. It's not.
Sorry.
I don't know.
I can't
I don't-
lose Rashford
no.
and Marshall in a year,
That's a lot. That's to take.
I might
innit?
be finished.
Adam's going to pay that tax bill if he's not careful. That's how not himself
he
he
is. He is.
I
I know it's
actually
a lot
might
to
be
take
finished.
like that. Like, a few years ago when we had that attack, you thought we're set.
Yeah.
We're set forever. We're going to win so many titles with these three,
Yeah.
and now they're all gone or going
Yeah.
for various reasons. Obviously, it's just horrible, isn't
Fergie leaving was the problem.
it? Do you reckon?
We just noticed
Because
that.
he could have still done. He'd done
I think you might be onto something there.
He
Go
could
on.
have still done the job for a bit.
No, come on,
Didn't
man.
matter.
He's
He
poorly
was-
sick for a bit when he come on. He
Yeah.
needed a breather.
That wasn't
Can't be
that- it
relying on
wasn't that long
80-year-olds.
after he retired.
Yeah,
that
he needed
really
he
unwell,
needed
isn't
someone like, not Ed Woodward to come in and wreck everything and not appoint David Moyes. That was just fucking insane.
Imagine Fergie with Marshall and Rashford. Oh my God. We win 3 in a row,
100%.
it? Yeah.
Not even a debate. Right, so Danny Welbeck's
So
my
Danny
one.
Welbeck's one.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go next.
Danny Welbeck.
I'm going to
Yes.
As is known.
be a little bit
On
juicier
this
on the
podcast.
striker front. I think I like Gokares.
Oh, that's fucking
Fuck
controversial,
off,
isn't
I'm
it?
into it.
Hey, my
into it.
choice is
Boring.
the best of the Beatles.
Oh, well, all right, let me
hell.
just pick someone shit like you did then. Should I just do that? Is that better? Just pick someone.
Wow.
who's
You could
crap.
just do a called Danny Welbeck shit.
Yes.
Mate, you
You're
said
a
just a minute
knobhead.
ago you loved him.
Yeah, I know, but he's
Now
overall,
he's shit.
You're a right knobhead.
Overall, come on. Like, we need someone who's actually going to score. And I like Danny Welbeck as a short-term option. I think it makes some sense. He's got the connection to the club, is all that stuff.
Yeah.
But he's not a top-level player, is he? He's not shit, but he's not going to take us forward this season. Certainly not long-term.
Do you know what, though,
Someone like
what it
Gokares
is, though?
actually can do that.
We could have doubled that.
No, right. For starters, he got about 7 goals already this season, Danny Welbeck.
Yeah.
Right? So he's on fire, right? He comes in this system, he fits perfectly. Why? Because he's been crying out for 210s behind him for his entire career, right? I've watched his entire career. He comes in, he gets you double figures. Like, genuinely.
Really?
He'll bang him in.
Points or goals?
Both.
I do like it, but we need someone proper.
Yeah, I don't know about Gyökeres.
Yeah, I don't either.
What don't you like about him?
Something stinks.
He's the top goal scorer in Europe in the last 12 months.
Yeah, but something stinks.
What?
He's not going to score goals for us like that.
No, he's not going to get 6. Well, I think he got 65 goals in 67 games in 2024. He's not going to do that.
Just coach fucking Hoyland, man.
No.
Same thing.
I prefer Gyökeres to Hoyland, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
I do. My only worry with Gyökeres, as I was having a little bit of a dig at you, he's the obvious one for everyone. Anyone who's looking for a striker, he's the guy.
But not a lot of teams seem that
Strikers from
interested
Portugal
in him.
hit and miss, you know.
I know, but I think still, like Arsenal would probably look at him and go, "We need a striker. He's the guy."
Yeah.
I don't know. Other clubs are going to be in the market for a striker. Like, there's always clubs.
I'd rather get
strikers.
Osimhen than Gyökeres.
But the thing is, so looking at Gyökeres, he's young.
Yeah.
Or not young, but he's not.
What is he, 26?
20. Yeah, I think he's 26. So he's not someone that's like into his prime physically yet. He should be at the end of the contract we would give him. He's in that like.
How much would he cost?
It. Well, he's got a release clause of I think it's 100 million euros.
Right,
so you get so that's max. You could get him for less than that.
You can get Liam Delap. You can get Evan Ferguson. You can get Osimhen for that money.
Yeah, but I don't want Evan Ferguson anyway. You can't get him for Brighton.
We need an Irish player. We're never going to win the league till we have an Irish player.
Okay, well that your superstition might not come into my thinking that much, but. I think Liam Delap's a decent player, but again, I would let him have another couple of years somewhere before we spend big money on him because he'd still cost you 50 million.
will come to the Premier League and stink the joint.
But how often?
I don't
Here's a
know.
question then.
He'd be decent.
How often has a player, because he's not going from like 25 goals a season and then he comes in and he's on like 9 or 10. How often is a player who's getting you like their current club like 50 goals a season come to England and been that bad? Does that happen? Because that feels like I can't imagine him.
Was banging him in for
no,
Benfica.
but he was like 30, and he got over 20 for Liverpool last season. So he's not been like a disaster. No one's come in getting 50 goals a year and gone to like 8. I can't even imagine. We're
signing player though that's like at the peak of his value, the peak of everything, the peak of his hype, everything. That's why I think you drop down a bit and you get someone that you need to bring back,
like an Osimhen.
Like a Osimhen.
So he's on your list.
Like a Kolo Muani.
Talk to me about Osimhen.
Don't sign a Randall. Liam Delap, Danny Welbeck.
Yeah.
Anthony Marshall.
Liam Delap is at the peak of his transfer fee.
No.
Well, I'm not saying he won't get more, but he's never been worth more than he is right now.
Yeah, but at the same time, he's cheap. He'll be cheap compared to what
he won't. Liam Delap, a 21-year-old who playing in the Premier League, who's scoring more goals for one of the worst teams. Yeah, and he came from Man City, didn't he?
He'll be a championship player at the end of the season.
He's going to cost you at least 45 million, probably more like 55.
That's cheap
60.
compared to Gyökeres, where you're going to have to stump up 90 million, and he'll probably flop.
Whereas Delap won't.
But if he does, you've only spent 40 million.
He's not going to be 40 million. Anyway, you like Delap, you like Osimhen. Why do you like Osimhen?
I just think there's a player. Obviously, he's a fantastic player, although he's been a little bit on the downside over the last year. Obviously, he went to Galatasaray. The hype isn't there anymore, so you're going to get him for a reasonable price, and he's still the same player. What is he, 26 years old?
It's all a bit weird with him in Napoli, wasn't it? Like, weren't they trolling him?
That was
like
weird.
Their own
they tried to force him out.
The club's own TikTok account was like doing racist trolling of him when he was like their star
Are you sure
striker.
It was their own?
Yeah, I think that was the whole issue. And then it was like they deleted it and then sort of made out like he was being a bit mad.
Did you see Fulham go for? It wasn't racist from Fulham, but did you see Fulham go for tossing out the Rabiot?
No.
Is that his name? Plays for Chelsea now.
What happened?
What happened?
Like he said when he left Fulham, if you can't beat them, join them. As in Chelsea, and then Fulham beat Chelsea the other day, didn't they?
I mean,
he's
lined it up there, to be fair.
They just fully went for him.
He's put it all, and all they have to do is just, it's there.
Yeah, it was quite funny.
Unfortunately for him. But Osimhen, I don't mind. I think he's a decent player, but I worry that if you can get him for cheap, it makes sense. But when he was considered a $100 million player, I thought he's just too one-dimensional for that.
Get him on loan.
Yeah, you could get him maybe next season, couldn't you? Would Napoli reckon maybe do that?
Yeah, you could probably get him for a little bit cheaper. The problem with Osimhen as well is, like, they spent like 60 million euros, rising up to 80 to get him. I think he's the.
Yeah,
I think
he's
at the
like
time
the most expensive African player.
Yeah, and that was like a big thing about him as a
Yeah.
player. He was only about 22 at the time, but like they're not going to want to lose loads on him, regardless of how in and out of form or out of the team he is.
I'm just not sure about this Gyökeres thing.
Do you know what? I'm a bit like that with Liam Delapme.
At least he's doing it in the Prem.
And I get that. You know what? He does, like, when we played against him, he looked good. You just don't know with young strikers, though. Like, Evan Ferguson looked mint last season for a bit.
He's been injured,
and then he
hasn't he?
fell off, didn't he? After that, was it actually against Newcastle where he was like...
I think the
everyone
season
was like,
before last.
Was it? Sorry, the season before last.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, he just didn't score for like 11 months or whatever it was.
Injured, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I know he's had injuries.
That's why
but
you can't sign him.
But, I don't know. Liam Delap does look decent. I worry about the price sometimes because it's mad, innit, with strikers and young players who've done well in the Premier League.
Yeah.
You get these mad quotes, and I know they don't always have to pay what the club are asking, but sometimes you can massively overpay. So I don't know. I think a big part of one of these signings, if no one else is going in for Gyökeres, fine. If no one else is going in for Liam Delap, fine. But if you get into a bidding war, like so let's say Arsenal or Liverpool or whoever are involved, going for him, and then the price is going up. I think you've got to walk away from some of these deals.
What's Gyökeres been like since Ruben left him?
He's still scoring. He got a hat-trick the other day. Yeah. No, I don't know if he's quite as prolific, but I think it was last weekend he got a hat-trick.
Something doesn't feel right about that.
You've never been keen, have you?
Is it the Coventry thing? If he'd, instead of going from Coventry to Sporting, if it had been Ajax to Sporting.
Well, he was at Swansea and Coventry, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And didn't really... He did all right.
He did
He
well.
did all right at Coventry.
Yeah, he did well at Coventry.
Something doesn't feel right, man.
Sometimes
this is why Dan
are a
Ashford
bit-
got sacked,
Sometimes old players are...
This was his transfer policy.
You got to use your guts sometimes.
No,
Yeah,
I hear
yeah,
that.
I
But
don't
some
mind that.
players, I think we live in an age now where if you've not banged in 100 goals by the time you're 22, people think you're shit. And it's like, not everyone's Wayne Rooney. Some players take a little bit longer until they sort of hit the stride. And he might be one of them. He might be like I'm not saying he's a similar player, he's completely different, but like Jamie Vardy type, where he gets to his mid-20s and all of a sudden he kicks onto a level that no one really saw coming. Which it kind of feels a little bit like what he's done. Because when Mark was saying, when he was at Coventry, he did well, but no one thought he's going to be the most prolific striker in Europe in the next 18 months. No one was saying that, and yet he kind of is.
Here's a little... This could get clipped up and look mental, but
Go on.
Green King will love it, so let's do it. In 2 years' time, no one gives a fuck about Gyökeres.
Really?
Like, no one gives... Like, it's just... He's in Saudi or somewhere.
Really?
No one gives a shit.
So you think this is like that season when Mitrovic got, was it like 50 league goals in the Championship?
Something stinks, man.
Do you know what, right? Sometimes...
Although his celebration's good, isn't it? He goes 12 bottles of blue. Doesn't he?
Telling me you wouldn't want to see that at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
Come on,
Let's
son.
bring it in.
And also, you were talking about this the other day. He's not one of those players. Some players by the time they're 26, 27 have played hundreds of games, haven't they? Like, I know he's played a lot of games, but like they've played since they were 17, 18.
At the top level.
Yeah, he hasn't done that, has he?
No.
So
So
he's not
hopefully
got as
he's
many
not
miles
going
on
to
the
get
clock.
injured all the time,
Yeah.
have to retire at 33 kind of thing.
Because
or
sometimes
32.
you see players who've played shitloads of football,
Yeah.
had a few injuries, and it's like they peak at 23, 24.
Yeah.
He feels like he's a different type of striker where his best years are still potentially ahead of him.
Now you look at Wayne Rooney, he was still a great player, but he was probably at his best, the best he ever was when he was about 25,
Yeah.
24, 25. So obviously if that was the case with Gyökeres, you'd be concerned, but I think it would be the opposite. He's playing in the Championship for most of his career so far, or lower leagues. Hopefully he's still got a lot left in the tank.
It makes
to
me laugh as
concern.
well when people talk about Rooney and like, oh, he fell off after a certain age, and then you look at his numbers and you think, no, he didn't.
Yeah.
Like, not just his numbers, his performances as well. Half the time he was in midfield.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
He was still brilliant,
Yeah.
but I think...
No,
him
I
at
get you.
his
Everyone has a peak.
explosive
I understand
best
your
peak,
point.
Yeah.
But then people sort of rewrite history and act like
Yeah.
he completely fell off by 2013 or whatever. And
No.
you think, well, no, he didn't. Look at some of the goals he was scoring and the performance he was putting
Talking
in.
about Rooney. Colleen Rooney was on Stick to Football.
I was watching a bit of that before, you know. I watched the bit about England and Germany and the Wags and all that.
It was funny though because everyone's fuming about it, like going, "Why is Colleen Rooney on here?" And I love it.
Yeah, mate, he's better than Michael fucking McIntyre. Yeah, mate.
He
makes
follows me on
sense.
Twitter, you
No,
know.
of course he
Michael
does.
McIntyre.
I don't know why. He's like followed me
You
for
love
like
him.
15
You know
years.
he's busy.
Is
I
he
don't
United
love
fan?
him. Nah.
Michael McIntyre, he was when
It's
he...
like John Cena though. Follows everyone, doesn't he?
Does
No,
it?
does it?
Yeah, he follows like 1 million people, and I'm one of them.
Oh.
Yeah.
He does all that.
But he
Make-A-Wish
said it
stuff.
in an interview, like I just follow whoever.
Ah, right, okay.
Like he just bangs follow button.
His timeline must be a disgrace.
A mess, yeah. I don't think he's ever seen one of my tweets on his timeline.
Has he not?
No, he probably doesn't go onto it, does he?
Well, he said he does in an interview.
Yeah.
He says he likes to follow all these different people,
So his timeline is unwatchable.
Yeah,
filth.
mess. Yeah.
Let's have a look.
I mean, everyone's timeline's unwatchable filth right now.
That's
isn't
true,
Because of Elon the fucking fringe.
Yeah, that's true. Let's talk about fullbacks.
I hate that prick.
Yeah,
He follows me as well, John Cena. Does he follow you? Does he follow you? Well, just so you know, that's special, mate.
So John,
What did you call him, by the way?
What's his name?
What did you call him?
John Cena.
You know, JC, as I like to call him, between each
John
other.
Cena.
He's got 14 million followers and follows 938,000.
Yeah. So follows everyone on here, probably. Wait, how do you tell if his? It probably says somewhere, does it? Oh, there it is. John Cena loves your work. Says that on
I
Twitter.
think you're in his bio. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, he
Can't
follows
see
me.
me.
Yeah.
It's not there, lads. Right, wingbacks. What are you thinking, Adam?
This is tasty now.
I think this is more likely
This
this,
is like-
window. It's possible this window.
Yeah,
Because you're probably
once we get
half
that
in the
sweet Andreas Pereira money in,
Yeah.
we've got 3.6 million to reinvest.
Burning a hole in our pocket.
And when we do that thing that you spoke about, where you just basically buy now, pay later,
Yeah.
we're laughing.
We can. You're Klarna in all of these.
Yeah,
That is what you do.
You make the initial payment of 3.6 million,
Yeah.
and the other 24 million, or whatever,
Well,
you pay further down the line.
Well, Kieran Maguire, who I trust on these matters,
Yeah.
was saying if United bought a player for 30 million now,
Yeah,
you don't have to declare 3 million of it this year
we've got that.
because that's half of a fifth of it between now and the end of the season.
See,
So have we got
It's all
3 million
making
quid knocking about? And if we have, we can buy someone for 30 million
there you go. Then you see, it all works.
plus wages, plus
Yeah.
that.
And then we'll have to sack everyone.
Let's
Yeah,
start.
we'll just cut a few.
We're gonna.
bonuses, no
Who do you like?
By the way, I don't know who I like.
Why?
I don't care.
You watch more football, right, than anyone on this table.
But you know Nuno Mendes?
Go on.
I don't know about that, brother. I don't know about that.
You're not into it.
He's always injured in that, isn't he? And I don't know. I just seen him and I just thought he's not going to be good.
He's not going to be good.
I honestly think this is our scouting department, how it works, I'm not
Our
sure
scouting
about
department's good, you know. It's just the
What?
fucking idiots controlling the purse strings.
All right, okay.
it. That's true.
The amount of times they've gone with good players.
You used to be a fan of Ike Nuri, I know that for sure. Last season, even the season before,
I
you were a big fan
like
of his.
Robinson as well. Good age.
I like Robinson.
Nice one, Jay.
I like the way he spells his first name.
Yeah, but Jay thought you meant the squash.
Yeah, lovely,
fruit and barley.
I
gorgeous.
like Robinson.
I like him as well.
We just become best friends.
What are the foods you like? I like chips as well.
I like Robinson.
Yeah, I like chips.
Yeah,
Chips are really good, aren't
Made me cry.
they? I like Robinson. So you like Robinson?
I like Robinson.
Do you? That's great. What do you like about him?
Name and that. Nah, he looks mint. He's rapid as well, isn't he?
He's good.
We need a bit of pace.
Also, if we bring in one Anthony, do we let go another Anthony?
You think that's how it works? But you're basing this on like feng shui and superstition, aren't you? How you buy people.
Yin and yang and all
Yeah,
that.
just like as one Anthony departs, another must arrive.
We have to. We have to.
We can only win the league with an Irishman in the team.
Yeah,
like all these little.
that's a madness.
I saw
To
Nuno
be
Mendes
fair.
and thought, this guy ain't for me.
Yeah.
Like I love that. It's just based on whatever. Liam Delap, you like him? Anthony Robinson then 7 assists in the league this season. I think in terms they're all open play as well. He's got the most open play assists of anyone I think this season. He's just gone up a level or two, hasn't he, with Fulham this year?
He's been playing at a consistent level for about 2-3 seasons now, maybe longer. Because he was in team of the season like a year ago, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Or you could argue that he was in team of the season like a season ago.
Yeah.
The season before that, he was doing pretty well. I think he's a good player who's, at a good age.
27.
Still, like this is his next big contract. Is the contract, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think he's the one. But then it's like you're going to get a lot of people interested in him. I think.
Although
Because you look at Liverpool at the moment, they're going to let Trent go. Robertson's kind of dropped off a cliff.
Yeah, he has. He's nowhere near as
that's
it the
true.
minute, Robertson.
I wonder as well though the fact that it's Fulham, he's 27. He might not be ridiculous the transfer fee.
Yeah.
This isn't a 21-year-old at a club that don't want to sell players or don't sell players. Fulham do, don't they? And
They've got a good team off Fulham.
I know, but like you can usually get
Yeah.
players from them. I think you can probably get them at a reasonable price. It kind of makes sense to me. I just wonder whether We did hear. I know it kind of went out the window anyway because we bought how old's your guy?
23.
Oh right.
Oh, it was when we got him. I think he's 24
okay.
now.
Well, it was a player we got that's over. We're not signed someone that's over 20. Oh, sorry, Mazraoui's over 25, innit?
Yeah.
We heard this thing, didn't we? We're not going to buy anyone under 25, and we bought Mazraoui. Which kind of
Over 25.
Yeah, we're not going to buy anyone over 25.
Yeah.
We bought Mazraoui. Sorry. So I don't even know if that's a thing. It sounded like nonsense, didn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I think short term it makes sense to try and revamp the age of the squad and let them grow together. But 27's not particularly old, is he?
No. You get a good 4 years out of him. You're laughing.
Yeah, and how often do we even bring players in who
Get a good
are good for their whole career?
Every signing we've ever
Literally,
made.
that's what I'm on about. Like, if we bought him on a 6-year
That's a
deal
good
or a
point.
5-year deal, how many people have we had for 5 years that were good for the whole time?
Mm-hmm.
Like Bruno, that's it. Like, so if I don't worry about his age, because him being 32, if it's anything like our other signings, he'll have left 3 years before that anyway. So, yeah, I'll be up for him. I do think that
Also doesn't do TikToks with Molly fucking May, so that's good as well.
Did that bother you?
Yeah.
Really?
shouldn't.
I didn't give a shit.
It's
mate.
proper your dad stuff, and I'm usually better than
I
that.
know. I didn't care. I saw the outrage, and
But
I thought
he
done
just does
something.
my tits in it.
Fair enough. If he
Ever
does
since
Reading,
that
but
whole England thing, he could do anything. Yeah, he could pay my bills, and I'd tell him to fuck off.
Luke Shaw this
Yeah,
is
he does my head in.
Does he?
Silly twat.
You've really turned on him, haven't you?
Yeah, because you know what? I stuck up for him a lot. Yeah,
When?
for a long time.
in private,
And then he fucked off
it was
with England.
it was an inner battle.
internally.
And then
Yeah.
as soon as he went with England, I knew he was making a mistake.
Yeah.
I knew it. And then he comes back broken for us. Fuck off. Where's Gareth Southgate? Go to him, wherever he is.
He's got a knighthood now.
Go to your daddy, dickhead.
Sir Gareth Southgate to you.
He can fuck off. How did he get stirred up like that?
Stirred up, you know.
I listened to him on Desert
By the way,
Island
what the
Discs.
fuck has he done to deserve that?
He went on Desert Island Discs. He was very good.
Mate,
You listened to a podcast with Gareth Southgate.
I didn't listen to a podcast. I listened to it when it was live on the radio.
You are. Were
what,
you all
what
right?
channel was that on? What station?
Radio
Radio 2?
I don't remember.
4.
I think it's
Are you
Radio 4.
okay?
I was on the way home from vacation. I was on the way home from Durham actually, just before Christmas.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Are you feeling all right?
I'm all right.
Your
Yeah.
family must hate you.
Why?
Listening to radio shows with Gareth Southgate.
They weren't there. They love Gareth Southgate. Sorry, Sir Gareth Southgate. Anyway. My mum's American. Probably never heard
You know
of
what?
it.
There's a picture of
I
Princess
think-
Diana, Gareth Southgate, and Gandhi on your wall.
Yeah.
Not Gandhi. 'Cause
There's a print-
we know how your family feel about Browns.
There's a
Wow.
picture of Prince Andrew, but it's turned away. Until he
is it?
learns his lesson, then we'll flip it back round. Okay? Do you know what I mean? He needs to make up. Right, let's talk about other fullbacks then. Milos Kerkez is another one. Bournemouth. He's doing well as well. 21 years old. Very much ticks that kind of under 25 box, if that is even the box we're
I
trying
don't
to
even
tick.
know if it is, to be honest with you. Again, you could probably get him. There's clubs that sell players, aren't there? How much is it going to cost? A lot of this just depends on the price, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's like if you can get Robinson for a lot cheaper than Kerkez and you go with him, or the other way around, you probably go with the other one.
Yeah.
I mean, I expect Kerkez to cost more, to be fair.
I also just think like all these players, and look at the teams that we're looking at here. Like some of the teams that I mentioned, you're looking at Sporting Lisbon. I know they were a champion in their league, so maybe it's a bad example. But Liam Delap is playing for one of the worst teams in England. Robinson plays for Fulham. Nouri plays for Wolves, one of the worst teams in the Premier League. Kerkez plays for Bournemouth, and it's like we can't afford to get their players. They're too good for us. They're too expensive for us. How are we in this position? That we're struggling to sign a player from Bournemouth or Wolves. I just think like it's so mad how we've been ran that we're like, you're stupid if you think we could sign Milos Kerkez from Bournemouth. Like, come on. And I'm not that you're wrong, but I just feel like it's pathetic, isn't it? Like we should be like click our fingers and we've got 40 million. We can't even muster it now.
You need to be able to go into the Premier League and go to like some of the lesser teams, with all due respect, and be able to buy players now and again. United have always done that. We've had some of our best players from lower down the division, and it's like you can't just rely on buying players. I'm not talking about Brexit, but you can't just rely on buying players from abroad because you can't afford anyone from the Premier League.
Yeah.
That seems a bit nuts to me.
And Brexit does mean Brexit, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's kind of nuts, but it's just where we're at the minute. Everything just feels like we're just proper skint.
Yeah. I wonder if there's a little bit of what's it called? Trickery going on there from United.
What, make everyone think we're skint and then they won't charge us loads of money when we buy their players off them?
Yeah. And obviously we have spent money this summer, but I can't remember the last time we spent less than like 100 odd million in a summer, and it's quite regular to be 150, 200, maybe even slightly north of that. Like, I know that these things add up and eventually we might have just run out of cash, but we still make money every year. We still sell players. We sold better than we ever have.
Sometimes we do that though, don't we? Sorry, I didn't mean to insult you now.
No, go on.
We have that season or summer where we go quite big, and then the following summer we don't. Like with Jose, we did Fred, Lee Grant, and the lot.
Yeah.
And we'd finish 19 points behind City, and it was like, well...
Yeah, but that's a rare...
And it is a rare... I get your point. We do usually... Sometimes, though, it's like we have that... Not all the time, but there has been ones where it's like a really big summer, and then the next summer isn't
as big.
Yeah, because it's like, well, we bought players last summer and they're still here.
But it does benefit us in negotiations for the team we're chatting to think we haven't got a lot of spare cash.
Yeah,
because that might be the difference between someone costing 45 million and 60 million.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that does add up. I do
think
it
felt like under Woodward and John Murter, it was like, yeah, we've got loads of money. How much do you want? We were like negotiating with Harry Maguire, and Leicester wanted 80 million. And we negotiated for 2 weeks, and at the end of it, we give him 80 million plus 5 million add-ons.
Yeah.
Like, how did that happen? Or Palace wanted 50 million, and we're like, we're never paying that. And we negotiated for a fortnight, and we give him 50 million for Wan-Bissaka. Like, what the fuck is that?
But we made him wait for it.
Yeah, like that's what I mean. At no point did we were going to go walk away from that deal.
They wanted to spend that on sweets 2 weeks ago, and we didn't let them.
It was just absolutely pathetic.
Yeah.
And we made a big song and dance about how we're going to negotiate with him, and then we just didn't. We just give them what they wanted. So yeah, hopefully.
The one good deal we made was when we got Molassie and we waited for someone else to agree a fee, and then we went, hey, here you go.
Do you know what? Do you know what used to annoy me, right?
Smart,
do you know what really used to wind me up? The whole, and it worked out well. So we got decent money for him. He's one of the few ones we made a profit on. But when we bought Dan James, and everyone was going, good business that. It's like, what was it, 12 million? Fuck off. No, it wasn't. He was going to go to Leeds in the January transfer window for 4.5 million. He played about 8 more games, and we spent 12 million for him the next window. It's like, even that deal wasn't great. Yeah. It's like, like I said, we managed to get
those were dark days, weren't they?
We finished second that season.
Dan fucking James.
You say they were dark days, we finished second that year.
No, Dan James.
He was part of the team that finished second. God. It's not bad.
You can't blame it. Like, I mean, obviously.
Poor Ollie did that with Dan James.
Oh, man.
Amazing, isn't it, really?
It's mad what went on in it with Ollie and that. Like,
Ollie was classy.
Like, I think sometimes you look at some of the players that he made good enough to finish second, you think.
It shows what motivation can do to a team, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
A team that feels like they're enjoying football and motivated, even if they're not.
Injuries fucked Ollie, you know.
Yeah.
Eric Bailly and Paul Pogba getting injured at the same time. That was it.
We're top of the league, weren't we?
Done.
Or thereabouts. Let's have a look behind the transfers.
Also, if we would have won the Europa League, I think very different things happen the following season.
That's true.
Who scores 11 fucking penalties on the spin? What's that? That never happens.
Who doesn't save 1 out of 11?
No, man. And then he goes to Fiorentina, he can't stop saving him.
Can't move in his house for penalty saves.
Can't move in our house for penalty saves.
Let's have a bit of a look at behind the scenes thing, because there has been a rejig following Dan Ashworth's leaving. There was a report in the Mail today that kind of detailed who's doing what now, who's what, where.
A report in the Mail, fucking hell.
Well, they do have some journalists that
we have on the channel now and again, so let's be kind.
And that's the thing, though, isn't it? There's every publication has got people you trust less and more than others, so it's not like it's
every
hashtag don't ban.
There's always a scale.
Yeah, I mean, there's one
person you can trust at the Sun.
Yeah, I didn't say that, but there's probably someone who's...
Well, you did.
Well, yeah, but let's say here's the line of can you trust it?
Yeah.
They're all under it, but there's probably still a scale within that.
Right,
they're all twat.
Berardi, Wilcox and Brailsford are the new football leadership team.
I don't know why I made this the last. Sorry, go on.
Yeah? This is the new football leadership team. Wilcox is getting an enhanced remit. He's kind of made a little power play, I think. I think he came in and went, I can usurp this little
Well, the City boys got together, didn't they, Berardi and Wilcox, and it's like this mugging from our manor.
What do you reckon?
Let's edge him out. And
so Wilcox is having a bit more of an expanded role.
I don't care.
It's not I don't care. I don't know.
You don't care about anything, do you?
Just let them do what they want, man. I'll see how the results are in 6 months and let you know how I feel.
I'll give him that. Because everyone praises Wilcox, say he's done a great job, did great at City and whatever. And that might be true, but we don't know whether he's going to work out at United. Everyone was praising Dan Ashworth until 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He was like the guy.
They started leaking stuff about him.
Yeah.
Well, we asked him who he wanted for manager, and he just shrugged his shoulders.
He fucking said Ron Atkinson. So we sacked him.
To be fair, that's better than the Gareth Southgate shout.
It's one more. Just a bit more racist.
Also, Christopher Vivell, who was the interim director of recruitment.
Has anyone ever seen this guy's face?
I've never seen his face.
I've never seen his face.
Is he like shaped to see him?
In here right now.
I reckon it's going to be like, remember when you first got MSN Messenger and you just had a silhouette picture?
Yeah, it's going to be, or the egg
like,
from Twitter.
Or the butterfly.
Yeah. He has been the interim director of recruitment, and he's now apparently in talks over taking up a permanent position. So there's a decent chance he's going to come in and kind of bridge that gap again.
Just on that, today we had the news, didn't we, that Michael Appleton won't be rejoining United because he was part of Dan Ashworth's plans, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I think he was going to be head of scouting. I think it was going to be his role.
Yeah.
But he's not rejoining.
He's dickheads, man. How much did they pay off fucking Ashworth?
Is it 3 million?
2 or 3 million, yeah. Something like that.
That's the money we've got from Andreas Pereira.
Oh, that's that gone, isn't it? That's ruined my
These
plan.
like idiots,
that's genuinely the same.
Proper idiots, man. They fucking spend all their months chasing after him. Get him, sack him.
He brought him and he's dropped him.
Fuck him. That is actually. Oh yeah, we're gonna focus on looking after the pennies and the pounds.
Yeah.
But we'll flirt with someone for months.
Do you know
get
what
him
it
in,
is, right? Just don't.
pay compensation for him, then pay him compensation to sack him. And now some other poor prick at the club's gone, well, here's some extra roles for you to do. And they're like, wait, what? Am I getting paid extra for this? Nah.
No, don't worry about that.
Just do what you said.
It's a good job. You like doing it. You'll enjoy it.
Yeah, part of the payment is
Poor
how
Colette
much you
Roche.
like it.
Yeah.
She's sporting director now.
Yeah. Colette Roche, who is the chief operating officer, has
left
been
back.
handed additional
left wing back.
She got
responsibilities.
Dan Ashworth's laptop.
There you go.
Fuck, who's this?
The password
Victor
is off the
Gyökeres.
tune. Yeah, unbelievable. Also, apparently, if they do
This
bring
club,
someone
man.
else in, they're not going to call them sporting director.
Well, that
which
matters, doesn't it? That'll make everything all right. We'll give him a fucking different title. That'll just fix everything.
Because that's why Dan Ashworth failed.
Yeah,
because he got the title.
Just the wrong title.
Well, no, I think he took his name badge with him, and Ineos don't want to pay to replace it. That's all
that
it is.
sounds about right.
Yeah, if you can find something
cretins.
in that bucket there, you can have that as your title. So that is the setup as it stands at the minute. Wilcox is going to focus more on performance rather than the operational side of things.
I just hope it's these lot.
It's
who's
all
calling
just
the shots and not fucking
LinkedIn bollocks,
Sir
innit?
Jim.
Yeah. Does that worry you a bit? Are you worried
yeah,
that
it does.
where the Glazers were so hands off, they let basically idiots run things.
Yeah.
Now we've got actual football people knocking about. It feels like Ratcliffe's sticking his nose in all the time.
It does feel like he is getting involved.
Yeah, it does, doesn't
and
it?
certainly the reports are that he's having a say on things. And when we spoke to Laurie, and it was about like the whole Dan Ashworth thing, why it went sour. It felt like it went sour because Jim Ratcliffe didn't want him anymore. It wasn't like Barada, that he may have had a say in it, obviously, or Wilcox. It was so Jim Ratcliffe was unimpressed with an interview he gave, and also the fact that he suggested Eddie Howe or whatever it was.
I hate all this stuff.
Um,
Getting an enhanced remit and extend his power base. Oh, fuck off.
When's the last time you
Proper
extended your
LinkedIn
power
shit,
base?
innit? Last night. Choked it.
oh.
It's
really?
proper bollocks, isn't it? And he's now in
it's-
talks to take up what the fuck is all this, man? Just do your jobs, you knobs.
Do your jobs, you knobs.
And tell... Did you see that tweet about Jim Ratcliffe? He got visited by the ghosts of Christmas. 3 ghosts over Christmas, but they were all Margaret Thatcher telling him to carry on.
Right, I think that's a good place to end it. Thank you very much to Green King Sport for sponsoring the show. Make sure you check out the link to the app in the description. We haven't spoken about the Arsenal game. We're going to win.
Yeah, we're going to batter them twats on the weekend.
Score.
They're already scared. Look at them.
They are
Look
scared.
at them.
What's the score going to be?
Shitting themselves.
I think we'll win.
I think 3-1.
3-1.
I'll go 2-1.
Yeah, I think we're going to sneak it on penalties. 1-1.
Really?
Will it be on penalties on the day?
Yeah.
I think
no
so.
I don't think there's replays, is there?
Yeah, there you go.
Got rid of that.
Yeah. Right. See you in a bit.